Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about how to trade a daily fractal. Right, so I'm joined here by Jack and Jay. What's up, guys?
Yo, what's going on?
Yo,
Right, next slide. Right, so the daily fractal is an open low high close or open high low close sequence. So remember, guys, the daily candle and any fractal whatsoever is divided up into four parts, right? And for the daily, that's going to be your 4 6-hour candles. Now, these are going to represent open high low close or open low high close. Guys, we've talked about this in the prior videos. If you're new to this series, just go back and watch those through. It'll give you complete context into what we're talking about. Okay, now to understand the sequence of the day and how to trade it, you're going to need context, both a price context and a time context. Now, to keep this very non-technical, the first thing you want to understand is your higher and lower time sequence, right? And that's to understand the time context. Then we're going to be talking about how to understand where the market is positioned from a value perspective. And so that's going to give you your quote unquote price context. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so Jay, can you please show the daily fractal on the chart? Let's go to a nice Wednesday if that's possible.
Yeah, so let me pull it up right quick. Wednesday, I mean, we can use this Wednesday, the higher low, or this Wednesday. Again, you guys can see the Wednesday is giving that, that higher lows. Same thing, this Wednesday gave the higher low. But which Wednesday you want to look at?
I mean, I think this Wednesday is perfect. If you could just show
Okay.
that.
And right here is the Wednesday.
Right, guys, so if we divide this up into our 4 6-hour candles, right, that's going to be your, oh, Jay, here we go. That's going to be your first, second, third, and fourth 6-hour candles, right?
Yep. And
Okay.
inside of that 6-hour candle, what do you have?
You have your
First,
4 90-minute candles.
yep, you have your first 90, second 90, and then third 90, fourth 90, 6-hour candle close.
We're going to be going more into that later on. Want to head back to the slides? Yeah. Okay, so let's go next. Alright guys, understanding the higher and lower time fractal sequence, right? So your higher sequence. Guys, so understanding your higher sequence will give you context on how you're positioned from a time perspective, right? So guys, just as we can divide the daily into 4 6-hour candles, we can divide a monthly into 4 weeks. So imagine you're on the third week. Within the monthly, you've done open low and you're going to do your high. Within that week as well, you've done open low. And now on the Wednesday, you're going to expect your high. I mean, it's pretty clear at that moment, you're going to have a bullish context. What the market's telling you is technically bullish from a time perspective, right? Now, that's just one way we look at it. Keep that in mind. Secondly, your lower time sequence, right? So once you understand your daily and the higher time sequence, for example, your daily, weekly, monthly, you can now trade with that added context and add a lower time sequence as well. So again, just like Jay said, within 1 6-hour candles, there are 4 90-minute candles. So just as you trade the third six of the day, the third 6 hour of the day, you can also trade the third 90-minute within that third six. And that's just going to be the highest probability one that you can trade within that day, right? Now remember, guys, the lower sequence has less of a precedent than your higher time fractal sequence, right? So you need to align with your daily and weekly sequence first, and that's going to be the most important before you look at your 90-minute and just keep going lower, right? The higher time, remember we talked about this before, the higher time sequence always takes priority. Okay,
Yep.
Jay, can you show us that higher time sequence, for example, on the weekly fractal?
Yeah, I'll just show it on the monthly fractal, okay? And again,
That's perfect.
Where are we in the month? If we look at the monthly candle here, what do we understand? So We have 16 days left, right? So what does that mean? If we have 16 days left,
And we
that
have
means
2 weeks.
that means we're roughly halfway through the month, right?
Yeah,
And again, if you guys, just for clarity, look at the calendar. Where are we? Well, we're now week 1, week 2, and then we're now about to go into week 3, right? So
right,
now we understand we physically finished week 1, and now this is a week 2. So this is what So is talking about, guys, right? This is the fractal of the month, but you can see the first week that you're open, right? So again, your first week or first fractal, or any first fractal is your opening fractal. So again, that sets up the tone, right? That sets up the range of what's, potentially happening this month, right? But already, what are we seeing? We're seeing open, potentially high, right? We're already potentially in a monthly fractal seeing a open, high, and failing this. So now if the third week comes out and actually does an open high and turns into a red candle, then that means we have to short it all the way back down to the opening range low. And vice versa, if the third week somehow comes out and does open low and makes a higher low, then again, that would tell us, okay, we need to long this up to take out these highs, right? And then week 4, close high, and then week 5, monthly close. And by then, we will either have a monthly candle, really bullish one, or a red candle closing at the lows, right? But that's going to help us guide through the time context of this month. So,
yeah, bro. That's perfect, right? So, guys, this is how you can understand the monthly with your weekly candles and how to apply that from a daily perspective. Just like Jay said, if next week now we do open high, right? So Monday, Tuesday open high, we're gonna understand.
exactly.
Okay,
And this is
that's not
where
good.
we're flexible, We're not just stuck to one bias. This has to happen. No, that has to happen. No. But I'm over here. I can flexibly understand these two scenarios, right? According to time and price. I'm not just randomly making those up either, right? I'm lining it perfectly with the time that's been given to us, right? And what's been given to us as price wise, right? Which we're, looking like we're sweeping the highs more than the lows, right? We're quite literally failing the highs if we go back one more time, right? So if we close, and today's the weekly close. So if we close bad this week, then it could, potentially start to swing on the next weekly candle. 1, 2, 3, swing, and then we could fall back down, right? With the clean swing to the downside.
Right.
So it's just, being able to be flexible with this and understanding if we keep this, mind you, we haven't taken it out. So again, next week we can do open low and then take it out. So
Yeah.
we got to be flexible. And then now this is where, obviously watching the weekly candle is not going to help us. That's where we now go into the daily and then understand, oh shit, this is the range that we have given to trade. And then really understand now that's where the value comes in, right? This is where, we have to understand, okay, that's the time and look at the value, right? We have POC right here that we could potentially dip into next week with the open low, like I said. So it lines, right? You can start to frame those things together. So if we get a clean open low, it's coming obviously right back in there. And then if we get a clean open high, then obviously we're gonna take these equal highs out and then put in that high for the week and then trade to the lows into the POC and the value area low, which again lines with the value in time. So whichever scenario that gives me, I can be flexible of that to go with. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense. Actually, values what we're gonna talk about next. So if you can go to the next slide. Right, guys. So now we're gonna be talking about how to understand this from a value perspective or auction market theory, right? So we can use the fixed range volume profile with AMT logic, right? And this is one of the main ways we're going to have a price context. So the idea is that markets are going to move between areas of value, aka value area. Now, these are where markets are in fair value, right? And acceptance outside of these zones are going to create new fair value. So the idea is fair value being created, new fair value being created, and if it's going to shift or if it's going to come back to a previous fair value, right? So guys, we have a perfect example on the chart we're going to show you, but let me show you the reverse of it, right? So imagine we're in balance for weeks, right? So markets are staying within our fair value. They're not going below our fair value. And on the weekly, we just had an open low. And so now we're going to expect the high to come in. But price is also at value area low. So let's just add that together. We've been in a balance for a few weeks. Markets made open low. We're at the value area low, right? And now we're expecting the high to come in. And because we're expecting the high to come in, time is giving us a context of some sort of bullish context, right? But value is also giving us that. And so these are ways that you can incorporate these together and understand the full context while trading with an OTP perspective or order flow time and price, right? Now, guys, keep in mind, auction market theory is very advanced, right? This is just a very non-technical way for you guys to understand. Remember, this is still a beginner's course. So if you want more understanding of OTP, its applications with time, the best way is just to join the Discord below to learn more about that, right? So Jay, can you show us how this is looking right now with an
Yeah, so
understanding of the
so look,
market?
what So said, right? Understanding time and value itself can give you a lot of understanding. So again, at this point, guys, look down here. When I'm showing you guys this, pay attention to the dates down here, okay? And now, if you guys pay attention to the date, what is happening right here? Monday, Tuesday. What does that look like? What we just have talked about. That's your month open low of your weekly fractal. Quite literally what just so said, but real example, right? We're in a balance, right? For weeks. And again, we're having a context of time. Monday, Tuesday, weekly open, low, sweeping the low to where? Right into the value area low. So again, we have the context of weekly open low into a value area low, and we're expecting high end close, and we have value area high target. All right. Right. So,
Yeah, exactly. And so Jay, now can you show us what's happening now with this new monthly candle? Well, not the new monthly, but the third weekly candle that's going to come out. If we do an open high, value area high, open low back to point of control, what can we
yep,
expect, right?
exactly. And same thing, right? We can apply this logic live into current market. So, we understand that this is, week one, week two, and we're about to go into week three. So if the week three does open high and fails this value area, rejects it, not accept it, then where's our target? We can look down and be like, okay, open high, then we need to do a low close, right? And now where's our clear target for a low close? Or POC to value area, right? So we again have a full range context just with, again, time and price, open low, value to value, time and price, open high, value to value. Or we do open low, hold, and then take out the high, like I said. So that's the only two scenarios that I could see that could happen from this point in a logic of time and value. Does that make sense? So,
Perfect. That's perfect. Right, so this is just a live example, right? And over the coming days, we're going to see which scenario is going to play out.
yep, and we'll
And
give you
it's going to
guys
be all
update.
recorded.
Yep, and we'll give you guys update on, obviously what happens next, right, with our next video. But either way, if you guys have any questions, you guys can join the Discord, ask the question, or you guys can ask, leave a comment and then drop a like if you guys fuck with the video. And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah. Peace.